Caring for an older loved one, whether it is your spouse, a parent, a grandparent, or even a dear family friend who feels like family, is one of the most profound experiences a person can go through in life. It is an act filled with love, loyalty, and sacrifice, but it is also an experience that requires patience, wisdom, and strength. Watching someone you love grow older is a bittersweet journey. On the one hand, you want to do everything in your power to protect them, to keep them healthy, safe, and comfortable. On the other hand, you know that part of loving them is also respecting their independence, honoring their dignity, and giving them the freedom to make their own choices about how they live. As we age, our needs shift in ways that can sometimes feel small and gradual, and at other times they can feel sudden and overwhelming. A once active parent may begin to slow down. A once independent spouse may begin asking for help with everyday tasks. And as caregivers, we may find ourselves balancing 100 different emotions at once: love, worry, exhaustion, guilt, and even fear. But here's the truth. Caring for someone over the age of 65 is not just about providing medical attention or daily support. It is about creating an environment of trust, compassion, and empowerment. It is about making sure that your loved one feels seen, heard, and respected in every step of the journey. In this video, we are going to dive deeply into 5 essential tips for caring for an older loved one. Tips that can make this journey easier for you and more fulfilling for them. These are not just surface-level suggestions. They are heartfelt, practical approaches that will help you support your loved one's well-being while also protecting your own emotional balance. By the end of this discussion, you will walk away with not only strategies you can apply immediately, but also with a new perspective, one that helps you see caregiving not as a burden, but as an act of deep human connection. So let's begin this journey together. 1. Prioritize communication and emotional support. When caring for someone over the age of 65, communication becomes the heartbeat of the relationship. Aging naturally brings with it a unique set of challenges, from physical health issues like chronic pain, reduced mobility, or memory lapses, to emotional struggles such as loneliness, fear of dependence, or even depression. What makes the difference is not just the medical care they receive, but whether they feel they still matter, whether they feel they are still part of meaningful conversations, and whether they feel their voice is heard. And that is where you come in. One of the greatest gifts you can offer an aging loved one is the gift of active listening. Active listening means that when they speak, you are not already preparing your reply in your head. You are not distracted by your phone or rushing to move to the next task. Instead, you are fully present, allowing them to share their worries, their memories, their frustrations, and their hopes. Experts often say that the best communication ratio is to listen 80% of the time and talk only 20% of the time. In practice, this might look like taking a deep breath before responding, allowing silence to exist without rushing to fill it. Repeating back what they've said to show that you understand, for example. Dad, what I'm hearing is that you're worried about your eyesight getting worse, and it makes you anxious about driving. Asking gentle, open-ended questions like, tell me more about how that feels for you. This type of listening not only helps your loved one feel heard, but it also builds trust. And trust is the foundation of every caregiving relationship. It's also important to remember that emotional support goes beyond words. Sometimes a quiet presence, a gentle touch on the hand, or simply sitting together in silence can communicate more love than 1,000 words. Respect is the key. Never talk down to an older adult. Avoid speaking to them as though they are a child. Even if their health is declining, they are still the same person who raised a family, built a career, or lived through decades of life experiences. Treat them as the wise, capable human being they are, and they will feel valued, not diminished. When communication is approached with patience and empathy, it transforms caregiving from a task into a bond. 2. Promote physical and mental health. The second tip is about supporting the whole person, body, mind, and spirit. As people age, physical health becomes more delicate. Mobility may decline, chronic illnesses may surface, and energy levels may fluctuate. But this does not mean older adults cannot enjoy vibrant, healthy lives. In fact, many people over 65 can thrive with the right encouragement and support.